To all of the Philippine product fans, as well as importers, wholesalers, distributors, retailers, and e-commerce entrepreneurs, welcome to Planet 63 TV. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am the founder of Planet 63, which, by the way, is a product procurement and logistics management company. The reason why I'm doing this video and what prompted me to do this video is because I just recently was part of a group of panel speakers regarding becoming global entrepreneurs. It was put together by the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Los Angeles. Hey, Lois. Hi, Ellen. I just wanted to do a shout out because these two ladies work very hard. I mean, among all the other team members or, members of the Chamber of Commerce, but these are the two that stands out and do a lot of work for that organization. But I just want to give them props for what they did yesterday, and thank you for inviting me to be a panel speaker at that event. It was at the Public School 818, and that was the name of the actual gastropub in the city of Sherman Oaks, exactly. Anyway, the reason for this video is because a lot of people, after watching the video, because it was on Facebook Live, a lot of them asked, hey, I'm interested in what you had to say, but there was a lot of noise, and I want to ask you some questions. And these are the people that were actually in the event itself. And at the same time, I really didn't get a lot of time to present my presentation because I was in a time, scheduled time, and that's fine. And that's how it's supposed to be, a lot of question and answer. That's why it was a good format. But at the same time, the people that were also watching the event on Facebook Live, they had some questions, but they couldn't hear because there was a lot of noise in the background. So what I wanted to do this evening is to really just give you a perspective of the people who are actually interested in learning about becoming a global entrepreneur, as well as a importer, exporter, and all of those different things. Then I want to go ahead and give you the full presentation, which shouldn't really take too long. So if you have sort of a attention challenge, it shouldn't be too long. So just bear with me with that. But I really wanted to give the full effect of what I wanted to really truly present for my part of it. But again, it was a different format. So I wanted to give the people who really wanted to hear it, as well as people who kind of heard it but need some clarification. So here we go. I'm going to pretend as if this is the whole thing again, all over again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go through that mode. Quick story. There is a gentleman. We're going to talk about a little bit about side hustle, challenges, and giving back. And the reason why I say all this stuff is because I know a gentleman that was trying to do his side hustle. This was back in the 80s. He was actually trying to make money, provide for his family, while, obviously doing something, this was doing something on the side because he had a full-time job he wanted to do it. That wasn't enough for him. So he wanted to go ahead and make sure that he continues to improve his life, his family's finances. And also he had his challenges when he was doing that. Like I said, he was doing full-time job, but he wanted to give back. And the profession or the side hustle that he wanted to do, which wasn't very easy at the time, was importing. He wanted to give back because he came from a province in the Philippines called Pangasinan, and he wanted to promote some of the products that they were making there and possibly also create livelihood. But in the process, he learned a lot more than just promoting Philippine products. I mean, the people, the products in Pangasinan, what he learned is, how to just do import export between the U.S. and the Philippines. So he had his share of successes. He was able to do arts and crafts, import export that, clothes, some cars even, and commodities like rice. So he had a medium-sized success, I would say. It wasn't completely there, but at the same time, he had his challenges, of course, because he was still trying to hold down a full-time job. And I laughed because I couldn't believe he was doing what he was doing based on the technology back then. And I've known this person for a long time. I laugh at him all the time when he tells me the story. And that person that I'm referring to, everybody, drum roll, please, is my dad. My dad, Fernando R. Soriano. He formed a company called Pacific Link International. He was an importer, exporter, commodities. He did vehicles, sometimes some equipment between the Philippines and then the U.S. And this story, as much as I want to give praise to my father, that's not the story. The story is that I'm trying to give an idea what it was like to do importing, exporting back then as it is now. And the tools of his trade, ladies and gentlemen, is in the 1980s, you had the fax, which back in the day, that was probably an amazing tool, right? And then also teletype. Some of you may not even know what that is. And I kind of don't even know it to fully explain it to you. But if you Google it, which I love because everything is about Googling, right? So that's teletype, but trust me, it's old. And then he did landline. And I don't know if you're a Filipino, you probably, when I was growing up, everybody knew what a prepaid calling card was. And he used a lot of that just to save money on long distance calls and trying to call the suppliers. And then if you wanted to research it, my goodness, you had to do the library thing, and also if you wanted to try to prospect back in those days, he had the yellow pages to find buyers for the things that he's selling. And that was like, ooh, that was tedious. And look, now 2019, what do we have? I don't know if you can see the screen. I'm sure you can. And that's why hopefully this is working. The 2019, you have the internet, the IoT, the Internet of Things. You've got the internet where you can use to communicate through Skype, Viber, WhatsApp, WeChat, all those great things. You can call without costing you an arm and a leg and having to do a prepaid calling card to do all of that. And you can use it for, different types of apps. You can use it to vet a customer, research a product. I mean, it's all in your fingertips. A lot of these things can be done so easily that's why I laugh every time my dad tells me all the things that he used to do back in the 1980s when he did this. And then I'm also paying attention to technology. There's a company called Flexport that is trying to innovate or disrupt the whole logistics, the supply chain of the industry because of the fact that it's using a lot of the technology to make it easier, make it smoother. Just pay attention to what's going on with Amazon. It's amazing what they're doing to the supply chain. They're trying to control all of it, and it's helping. That's why they can do the 1 day or 2 day delivery, whatever it is, if you're on Amazon Prime. And then, of course, cell phones. What can I say? You can pretty much do do business anywhere. You can do it in your car, or I don't know, your home. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could do these office sharing and all that, and it doesn't take much these days to create a business from that perspective. I'm oversimplifying it, of course, but I'm just trying to give you a contrast to see that in the 1980s compared to 2019, people who might think that importing, exporting is difficult, I'm not saying it's easy, but what I am saying is it's easier, okay? So I just want to give you a perspective. And why am I telling you all of this? It's because these are the tools of the trade that my father used to do back in the day to do this business, right? Why, just to give you a perspective. But where are we going to use these tools? How are we going to create opportunities? And that's what I wanted to continue to discuss. First, let's use this trade in a particular market. Since the people that I'm promoting or the products I'm promoting are Philippine products, not to say that only Filipinos can use these products. I'm just saying that let's go into the market, the U.S. market. Let's tap into the foundation of where these products can be sold to, but not limited to, okay? But let's just discuss that. Again, you have the tools of the trade, which I just discussed. Where do you use that? Let's concentrate on the market, which we're doing right now, which is the Filipino market in the U.S., okay? Right now, whether you know it or not, there's a lot of Filipinos in the U.S. market, okay? There's, if not close to 4 million, if not 4 million now. That's a lot of Filipinos in the U.S., in the United States, and it's only growing. They're bringing a lot to the market, great buying power, and for any marketers out there marketing to the Filipino market, that's amazing, and that's why a lot of the Philippine products could be bought, and then use that as a foundation, and then from there, exposing the Philippine products to the United States. It starts from there, and that's the reason why I'm just trying to give an idea to see that a lot of the Philippine-made products can be brought to the U.S. and start with this market, okay? So, and then again, with a median household income of $75,000, that's great buying power. This is the part where I get to impress you with all the statistics and all that, but you can Google a lot of this stuff too. And what I just wanted to tell you was when it comes to the Philippine relationship with the United States, Philippines is the 29th largest supplier of goods imported in the United States 2018. that's kind of amazing. I don't know about you, but that's kind of amazing in terms of the numbers. We hope that we continue to. I'd like to see more of the products. Yeah, basically, what I want to see is empower a lot of Philippine manufacturers to confidently hit this market, hit the U.S. market, because I think a lot of the times they're just hesitate because they need more information, they need more research and things like that, and that's what this is all about. Okay, next one is Philippine imports into the U.S. to give it a dollar volume, or dollar value, dollar amount, I should say. Philippines imported or exported to the United States 12.6 billion in 2018. That is up 8.4% from 2017, which was about 972 million, give or take a few. Okay, so that the amazing thing is that's still a substantial amount for a country. A lot of room for improvement, a lot of different things that we could do to promote the country, as well as just this products alone. It's got nothing to do with anything except just doing business and exposing the Philippine products to the United States market. The one thing that I am very impressed about is because the reason why I put agricultural products there is because in the Philippines, it's known for a lot of interesting agricultural products: coconuts, mangoes, pineapples, this thing called calamansi, and now we're becoming so popular, ube, which I'm sure some of you already know that it's hitting even Trader Joe's, which is a mainstream store. It's hitting the ice cream. A lot of that product, a lot of the Filipino-American restaurants are incorporating to their menu, their fare, and it's just amazing. So as far as that's concerned, agricultural products, it came up to about 1.1 billion in 2018. I got to say it like that, 1.1 billion in 2018, just like Austin Powers, for all you who watch Austin Powers. Anyway, I'm dating myself. Anyway, so total success. That's an amazing accomplishment for the Philippine manufacturers, but they need to do more. How do we use the tools to move trade forward? Okay, that's the thing that we need to continue to do. All of those things that I just mentioned, what is available to us now. How do you take those tools of the trade? How do you take advantage of the opportunities that are currently in the U.S. market for Philippine products? How do you become a global entrepreneur? That's the thing that I want to get into a little bit more now. Now, to me, it's all about leverage, right? You want to leverage technology and then collaboration to create capitalize on opportunities. And what I mean by that is, I don't know about everybody. I can only tell you what I've experienced and what my journey has been in trying to promote Philippine products in the U.S. and as well as engage U.S. manufacturers to do business in the Philippines. But the bottom line is this: there's three things in my mind all the time that I'm trying to juggle, which is the relationships. In this business, if you're going to do importing, exporting, online, whatever, sourcing, logistics management, it's all about relationships, everyone. I'm sure you probably know all that, and that's nothing new. But with me, I went ahead and tried to establish and continue to nurture these relationships and try to provide value as much as I can within what I can do. And the relationships I've established have been so precious to me, valuable to me. And I just want to go ahead and tell you that in my journey, I wanted to get to know the Philippine consulate and the trade offices, Philippine trade office in Los Angeles. They have been very supportive of me, especially Consul General Cruz, who's been amazing. And now they've got a new trade director, Eric Elnard, that I think he's going to do a great job in trying to promote Philippine products there. And my hats off to them, as well as, like I said, with Consul General Adelio Cruz. I've gotten to know some of the people in SBA who are constantly promoting trade and get information from them in terms of how the relationship between the two countries are going. And then all the different trade professionals like Sarita Jackson, who's been a part of my success in terms of giving me information on how to do that, how to figure out the trade industry from a bigger picture, from a macro picture as opposed to micro. And then a lot of the people in the DTI, the Department of Trade and Investments in the Philippines, of course, they've been instrumental. When I first started, a lot of them were very helpful. A lot of them were trying to get as many of the Philippine manufacturers' products out there. And the way they've helped me is they've guided me to the different manufacturers there. And then that's obviously up to me how I engage them and I talk to them and how do I develop that relationship. And then the sourcing agents and, of course, the Philippine manufacturers in the years that I've been doing this, I've developed so many different relationships with different types of manufacturers, from clothing, the arts and crafts, to different provincial, what's the word I'm looking for, manufacturers, from the cuisine, the food, the chocolates, the chili garlic sauce, the snacks, the banana chips. Shout out to J&C. They're the ones who made this great banana chips that I'm promoting at the moment, that it's crinkle cut and it's thin and it's not like a nickel. But anyway, so that's what it is. I've developed that relationship. And then also on social media, the thing that again, going back to my father, when he did that, he didn't have social media. My goodness, if you're trying to do promotion, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat or Twitter, those are amazing things. Also LinkedIn, because that's where I'm able to network with a lot of professionals in the industry, and that's how I'm able to connect with a lot of people. And then you've got your Instagram, your Amazon, your eBay, all of these different websites, or rather social media platforms and e-commerce platforms are helping a lot of people who want to become e-commerce players to sell their products in different formats. And then last but not least, it's one thing to get your products, you're marketing it, right? But you still got to get it from point A to point B. How do you do that? It doesn't magically appear as much as everybody thinks, as far as when you order something on Amazon, right? But to me, you need to know people you need to manage people that are in the supply chain industry, the logistics, the ones who are the freight forwarders. We're talking about the U.S. Customs broker. You're talking about the port authority. You're talking about the different types of agencies in the government, the U.S. government, when you bring in products like the U.S. Customs, FDA, and so on. And then also how to fulfill the products, warehouses, fulfillment sites. Those are all important, how to get it from point A to point B, depending on how you're trying to do your business, whether it be wholesale or retail. So those are the things that I'm constantly thinking about, and how do I put all those things together to create some sort of a bridge between the the Philippines and the US, and vice versa. Okay, so that's my take on the leveraging the technology, and that's what you got to do. Again, a big contrast between how it was and what it is now. So you consistently try to do that, and work smarter, not necessarily harder, to a certain degree. So I told you to trade. I told you a little bit about how to do all these things, the tools of the trade, the market. And let me just take you a little bit, give you a little bit of a understanding on what I do, because a lot of people think I'm a business broker, or I'm afraid for. I'm not. What I am is, I'm a procurement, product procurement and logistics management company. So what I do for Philippine manufacturers, I can take them from point A to point B. I can help people in the United States find products in the Philippines, and vice versa. I can help the Philippine manufacturers bring their products into the United States in the way of knowing how to bring it through customs, figure out how to put it in a boat or in an airplane, all that stuff. Sort of like maybe a travel agent or something like that. Some people who may not understand that, but just in that way, I have resources to be able to do that. I consult with the Philippine manufacturers. I give them the best possible scenario and how they're going to be able to do that. And then obviously I help them market the products in the United States. I'm not promising anything to anybody, but what I am doing is I have enough sources of buyers that, depending on the product, that is something that I can help a lot of people find the buyers for, potential buyers. I even tell the Philippine manufacturers, just because I have buyers doesn't mean they're going to buy your product. That product better be awesome. That product better have nice packaging, all of that. And speaking of packaging, I want to do a shout out to Olive Enriquez, who helps me a lot when it comes to helping people packaging their products here from the Philippines. She owns a company called Luna Design. So a lot of these things that I do, I have an associate and a team of people that I work with to make all of these things happen. But first and foremost, like I'm doing now, this video, I like to educate, because you're empowering somebody, you're giving them information to be able to do that. So our thing is, when it comes to the Philippine manufacturers, we want to create a platform that will enable them to export confidently into the United States, and which means that obviously they're going to export more, and then which obviously means that we're going to hopefully create more livelihoods in the Philippines, whether it be agriculture, arts and crafts, or whatever it may be. So you're just trying to always create opportunity, always trying to create value for people. And then when we talk about education, we're talking about the GSP and potential free trade agreement. A lot of the things that are happening between the U.S. and the Philippines, even though with this thing going on with the U.S. and China, the trade wars, is that's the opportunity that I think as a country, the Philippines, should really focus on, because right now there is such a thing as a just general system preference. What it is it's called GSP, and it, in a nutshell, you see how they talk about the tariffs being at 25%. Those are the duties and the taxes and all that different things, and it adds to the landing cost of the product when it gets to the United States. Well, the U.S. and the Philippines have a certain relationship where you can, again, Google all this stuff to get more in detail. But the reality is that it enables these two countries have a relationship where some of the duties in bringing in a product into each of the countries are very, sometimes the taxes are very minimal. In some cases, there isn't. So knowing, without having to go into all the jargons of what that is, all you need to know is that it's not going to be as expensive to bring in a product as if it was right now with China, where depending on the product, it can go as high as 25%. Okay, and right now there's discussion about even a free trade agreement, because this GSP that I'm talking about is not permanent. It's actually, I think it'll expire next December, and open for renewal. But the reality is, right now, if you were to do this, you would experience that savings. Okay, savings in terms of importing the products from the Philippines to the U.S. and vice versa. And right now, if there's anybody out there who wants to import products into the United States, and maybe, or vice versa, and you don't have all the funds, that's another thing that I'm trying to promote, which I have ways in which way, I can turn you on to a lending situation where if you want to finance this venture, then you can also let me know, and there's ways to finance importing a product, and I'll give you more details. If all you need to do is messenger me, call me, or whatever, and email me, and I can give you more information on that to make it easy for you to do that. So that's basically what Planet 63 is doing. And again, that we do the 3 S's: we source, we ship, and we sell. So if you can remember those 3 things about Planet 63, that's amazing. That's what I would want you to do. Next, we have partnered up with a company, an amazing company who's been around for such a long time. I want to give props to the lady who created it. She's such a dynamo. Right now, she's actually getting married somewhere in Prague or something. And I don't know if you wanted me to tell you that, this fairy tale type of wedding. And she started this company called Pinoy Town Hall. And it's an online system. I mean, an online platform. This was created, she's going to kill me, but I think it was over 10 years ago. And it was supposed to be made to help a lot of Filipinos talk, kind of like a community, like I said, a town hall online, where they can get information about what's going on in the U.S. and they can all connect in the U.S. in terms of all the different events, as well as maybe get some information about the consulate office, anything that's happening in the Philippines, and so on. And then this food products and things like that. Well, what she's done now is that she's put together a platform specifically for Philippine products only. It's sort of like, Amazon in many ways. Obviously not as huge, but reality is that there's nothing like it at the moment, not only because it's listing Philippine products only, but the site is heavily watched by wholesale buyers, like Rakuten, I don't know if I pronounced that right, Walmart, and Macy's, and Target, and Amazon, because it specializes just in Filipino products. And the young lady who put this together, give shout out to her as well as her family, is Ishka Villacisneros. I still get tongue tied. Ishka Villacisneros is her name. And she's the one who is continually trying to do this. She has so much dedication and trying to help the Philippines. And I'm proud to be a part of, to partner up with her and trying to do this. So basically what I do on this site, and what you can do to take advantage of the site, is that with me, what I do is whatever I source and procure, I put this in the site so that it can get that attention, okay? If I meet somebody in the Philippines, they want to put their product in, that's where I put the products that I source that are ready to be marketed. And for those people who want to be importers or want to be an e-commerce player and just want to test it out, my suggestion is that tell me what products you're looking for, right? And I'll help you, figure out all the costs and all that, and how to bring in the products from here to the Philippines, from the Philippines to here. And then instead of building your own website right away, list it here, like the way you would list on Amazon, but not as expensive and not as cluttered and all of that. But this shopsorrysorry.com is actually, like I said, heavily visited. They get customers, a lot of them in the Midwest, because they can't get to a Filipino product online, and sometimes, on a store, and they have to go online. Somewhere can be pretty expensive, and this is a great way to promote Philippine products. And I would put it there, and it's very inexpensive. So if you find that you just came back from the Philippines, let's just say you came back from the Philippines, for all the Filipinos who love to go back and forth every year, and you find a product that you want to market, instead of creating a website right away, just list it on shopsorrysorry.com, and they'll help you promote the product also, and they'll help you do the fulfillment and send it out whoever orders your product. Okay, all of that all of the services are provided. They have that in shopsorrysorry.com. And they also have the warehouse, so they can do all the fulfillment. They can, package it up for you. They can do all that. So I would recommend that if you're just testing it out before you even invest a lot of money on websites, the trick of the game, what's it called? The point here is you just need audience. You just need a place to be able to do all that and create attention for yourself. For the product, I should say. And then you got shopsorrysorry.com that you want to take a look at. And again, if you want more information on that, again, you just have to go to www.shopsorrysorry.com. There's a wholesale and a retail side of it. And again, some of the products that I'm promoting, I put everything there. I shouldn't say try, but I put everything there, and whatever I feel it's ready to be marketed. Okay. And then call to action. Everything is about call to action when you do these videos, and I love it because that is what it is. You don't want to watch just because you entertain some Filipino guy on the screen, blabbering on, talking about international. No, if what I said to you intrigues you, and even if it's just a twinkle in your mind, I suggest that these are your call to action. Buy Ferdinand coffee, that's one. Or you can let me buy you coffee. You can do that. Or you can just give me a call or email me, and I can do a free consultation for you. The reason why this is important, everyone, is because most Filipinos that I know who visit the Philippines and come back have some sort of idea. They want to import the stuff. And, if they're business-minded, yes. If they're not, obviously, they just want to go there because they wanted to enjoy themselves. But if you're business oriented, and then also you want to help the Philippines and create livelihoods there, then this is the best place to do that. Before, when my dad was doing it, probably not, right? Because how do you advertise that? That's a lot. Here you can, imagine you're bringing the walis or some sort of arts and crafts. You can easily put it here. It's not that technically that difficult. You just need somebody in the beginning try to hold your hand, just like anything else. And you just got to know the costs. You just got to know what agencies you're going to have to deal with. You have to know how to book your flight here, so to speak, with the boats and everything and whatever you're going to bring in. You could start off with a pallet. I don't know if you guys know what a pallet is. It's just like the size of a dining room table and maybe like 5 feet high. You could do stuff like that. Or you get big, you become a baller big time. You're going to go ahead and do 20-foot containers, 40-foot containers. Everybody thinks you need to do like a 40-foot container or something just to ship something. Start something small. Maybe you can even do a buy-in box or something, depending on what kind of product you're bringing in. The thing that I'm really trying to encourage is, because it's not just for my business, but I'm encouraging people to create opportunities for Filipino manufacturers also in the U.S. and also vice versa. There's a lot of people here in the U.S. who has a good product here, but they feel that could actually be used in the Philippines also. So that's going to happen. And that's what you want too. So what I feel like my goal is just to be an instigator, to be a catalyst, to be the guy that says it can be done. Let's create a bridge, okay? Because in the end, all you're trying to do is like my father was doing, maybe a side hustle. Maybe you'll find that it's going to be something that you want to do for the rest of your life because you find it that there's that opportunity. There is that platform. Okay. So my thing is about global entrepreneurship, helping people or creating value, promoting Philippine products, and just seeing if people can, make better themselves by forming a business like this, by using Philippine products. So lastly, what I want to do is I'm releasing a brand new project. I want to invite some of you and kind of stay tuned for it. What I've done is I'm put together I'm marketing a company, I'm branding a company, and sourcing a lot of these products because I want to brand a company which could be the premier Philippine ingredient distributor, Philippine ingredient and raw material distributor, not only for the food industry, but also in the nutritional supplement industry. So you because we have a lot of products in the Philippines that can do really well here, that are healthy, but not just good, but healthy also, and can be a part of the supplements that you guys are already taking. Like turmeric, like calamansi, all of those things. The one thing that's stuck in my mind is they're all some of like calamansi has a lot of antioxidants and they can help with certain things. A lot of people are taking vitamins now, supplements, and there's no reason why the Philippines couldn't compete in that arena and provide that because the Philippines is rich of agricultural products, but you just need to have it organized. Okay, so with that being said, I'm launching a company called Greater Philadelphia International Trading. We're branding it as such, and the procurement will definitely be done by Planet63, the procurement specialist in logistics and management. And then, what's like I said, we're going to be we want it to be the premier Philippine food ingredient and raw ingredient distributor. So if you're a restaurant owner, you're a contract manufacturer, and you make nutritional supplements as well as you're a wholesaler or a food processor, I want you to come here and then give me a call, or if you know anybody, I want you to tell me who they are so I can invite them to this event because we're going to have different ingredients there. You're going to have guyabano, you can have calamansi, ube, pandan, different coffees, barako, all the different coffees from the different regions of the Philippines. And there's more. And then also the herbal products, herbs that we're going to try to feature and offer to everyone, here in the U.S. market. So we want to do that for the food industry and the nutritional supplement industry. And lastly, I want to again thank the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Los Angeles for allowing me to be a part of their event yesterday. Again, it was in the city of Sherman Oaks. It was around 6:30 yesterday, and it was at a place called Public School 818 Public School or Public School 818. I don't remember which one it was, but it was an amazing. They had amazing food, and you're probably going to see a lot of that on my Facebook page as well as my Facebook page. My media director, Andrew Soriano, just in case you didn't figure that out yet, but my media director, he's going to, talk about, he's going to show you a lot of those pictures. But again, I want to give another shout out to the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce because there was one question that was asked. Well, how does the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce help the Philippine manufacturers? And I gave them this answer. I said that as much as I am proud to continue building what I'm doing to create confidence in being able to export into the United States, the one thing that I think most chambers don't realize is that the branding of the name chamber is already there, because the reality is that it took me a while to get some sort of notoriety with promoting Philippine products, but the Filipino Chamber of Commerce is already there. So what a lot of the chambers need to do is they need to really talk to each other, communicate with each other, because what the Philippine manufacturers need are data. They need data. They need to know that if they want to ship a product, let's see, food products, they want to hear from a restaurant owner that's already here. They want to know about arts and crafts. They want to know a retailer. What are they buying? Okay. Clothing. What are they wearing? So that's how the Chamber of Commerce can continue. The only way you're going to be able to be powerful that way is if you truly unite, which, by the way, the current president of FACC GLA, she is actually one of the people that spearheaded this new organization. It's called COFAC, the Coalitions of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce. And I think that's awesome. They have, I want to say 8, maybe they're going on 14. And hopefully for them, it continues to grow. I am a part of the chamber in Tri-County here where I'm living, where I live. And that's part of that organization too, part of COFAC. So it's a lot of the unification. So this is kind of like my platform to be able to give them their support, but it needs that. If that's what the chamber is asking for, they need to continue to organize themselves so that they can help the Philippine manufacturers. That's the bottom line. They need data. They need comfort. It's like this analogy that I like to give out every time I talk about importing and exporting. It's like when my parents first came here to the United States, they were excited about the opportunity, but they have no idea what life in America is going to be like. Okay, they have no idea. All they know is hopefully that it's better, right? So they're going to a new country. They don't barely know anyone, so they're at the mercy of anybody giving them whatever information to either where to get a job, where to live, and where to go in terms of entertainment or just to hang out. Okay, and that's the reason why there was a lot of back in the days that they formed a lot of these associations. So I just see what I'm doing is sort of like that. Hopefully, I'm creating trust. I'm creating a platform where if a Philippine manufacturer wants to do business here, then they kind of know because I've given them or the chamber's given them information on how to do business here. So we need to do more of that. We need to do more of giving data and sharing that. But, as much as I'm probably shooting my own foot here, the reality is that the confidence will take place when all of the other organizations, the chambers especially, will come together like that. As much as, put all your indifferences aside, but that's the reality. You need to come together that way and support each other and be able to help the Philippine manufacturers also. I mean, obviously you have other directives and goals as a chamber, a Filipino-American chambers, but I'm just saying in that aspect of it, when that question was given to me, that's what I answered. And I feel that we need to continue that to support these type of initiatives in terms of uniting a lot of the Filipino-American chambers and showing that we're very organized here, so that the Philippine manufacturers would be like, yes, we know people, just like when you first got here. Yeah, I know people, and that helps you up, it helps them. Anyway, so if you have any questions, you can reach me. You can see my Facebook page at Planet63. We have LinkedIn. We have info@planet63.com. By the way, please continue to stay tuned with all these things that I'm doing, because this is all about the presentation I just did, right? But I have other formats where I'm actually going to be introducing Philippine products and kind of critiquing them. I'll usually have a guest, an international trade professional. We'll look at the products and see how it is and give us our perspective on it. We're not going to hate on anything. We're just going to give you a gut type of opinion on it. And pretty much that's it. And that's what we're going to do. We continue to expose those products through using social media, again, like I told you before. And I'm going to end this with this phrase that I'm always about trying to be as genuine as possible and be as valuable as possible. And I don't know if you guys know who Albert Einstein is, but there is one quote that I'm probably going to butcher, but the whole premise or the whole thought is the same thing. But go ahead and look this up. The phrase goes something like this: aspire not to be a success, but to be a value. And like I said, I probably butchered that, but if you look it up, Albert Einstein, of creating value first, I try to do that first. I try to constantly see if I can provide value first, so that, hopefully it's karma, it comes back. And doing these little things, hopefully with the Philippine manufacturers, they see that there are people here willing to help. There are people here willing to have them be successful also, and also for them too. It's a two-way street. And with that being said, again, I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you so much. And please continue to tune in to Planet 63 TV, everyone. All right. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.